Today's video feature is a brief overview of workers' compensation cases in South Carolina. Now, a lot of folks think that workers' compensation is easy, and you don't really need a lawyer, and that it basically covers everything. It does not. Now, the first question is, do you really need a lawyer? Well, it depends. If you have a relatively minor injury, then frankly, no, you do not need a lawyer. You're going to get medical treatment and maybe something for some very minimal permanent disability, but that's just not going to be enough meat on the bone for you to pay a legal fee. Now, in more serious cases, and I define serious cases where you miss time from work, certainly if you have any type of surgery, and most certainly if you have any type of hardware implanted into your body, then you absolutely do need an experienced workers' compensation lawyer. Now, in those complex cases, the reason you need a lawyer is because the insurance companies will have their lawyers. And when I used to be one years ago, I did one thing. Their lawyers really limit their practice to workers' compensation defense. So if you have a lawyer who is not experienced, then I would be very concerned about that. Now, some of the issues that come up in workers' comp is, yes, it is fault-free. It doesn't matter if you cause your own accidents. Fault is not an issue in workers' compensation. However, the benefits are very limited. So you do get medical care at 100%. No co-pays, no deductibles, you don't even get a bill. But of course, the insurance company who is paying for the treatment gets to choose the doctors. Now, in the urgent care facility, there's not that many to compete. So yes, they are going to be one or two choices at the max. And then when you get into more specialized medical care, certainly orthopedic specialists, neurosurgeons, things like that, there are going to be even fewer choices. So you're going to get good medical care. Now, there is always a question as whether or not the doctors are going to be biased in favor of the insurance companies, and there's an ongoing debate about that. What I found is that the higher the level of care, the more specialized the doctor, the less I see of that potential bias. Now, one of the other issues is you're written out of work, or you have light duty restrictions that the employer cannot accommodate. So you do get a weekly wage, but it is limited to 2/3 of your average weekly wage, which you would normally get, up to a statutory maximum. So you're automatically a third down, and for our high wage earners like welders and certainly commercial truck drivers and high-paying professions, you are even deeper in the holes, and that is done by design. The reason the legislature made it 1/3 off is because they want you to be incentivized to get back on your feet and, most importantly, get back to work. Now, there is a little bit of an offset at the end because workers' compensation benefits are not taxable, so it does close the gap a little bit, but still you're not getting 100% of your wages in workers' compensation cases. Now, at the end of your medical treatment, when you're released, the doctor is going to give you an impairment rating, and then the commission will look at the impairment rating as one of several factors. They also include your age, your education level, your work history, and future medical care needs to come up with a disability award, a percentage. They do not give you a dollar amount, they give you a percentage of disability award, which your lawyer will then calculate to see what that is to the penny. Now, the one big thing you did not hear me talk about, and that's because it's not allowed by law, is you do not get anything in workers' compensation for pain and suffering. And of course, that is a very big element because to you, the pain and suffering that you go through, you can't put a dollar figure on it, but to the employer, it's worth nothing. So the workers' compensation laws were written to be in a very structured way, so you get medical treatment, lost time benefits, restricted, and something for permanent impairment or disability if you have some. It does get complicated, so I certainly encourage you to get the advice of a seasoned, experienced workers' compensation lawyer. I hope this helped.